scientists reveal that Alaska is not what they tell us. Hello, welcome to our channel. Did you know that many people don't know that you can see Russia from the United States? Of course, this is only if you are viewing from Alaska, one of the American states that has no land connection to the rest of the United States. However, under certain conditions, it can be connected to Russia, and you can literally walk from one to the other. This is not the only surprising thing about Alaska, as scientists continue to make shocking discoveries that they cannot explain. What have scientists recently found in Alaska, and why are they puzzled? If you want to know this and much more, I invite you to join us today to discover these discoveries that have left the scientific community amazed. So, let's get started. Alaska is the icebox of the United States. The state is mostly known for its cold temperatures, but there is a lot going on in the state besides the frigid weather. When we say Alaska is huge, we mean it. Alaska is by far the largest state in the United States. In terms of land area, 663,300 square miles. It is larger than the combined size of the next three largest states, Texas, California, and Montana. In fact, if Alaska were a separate country, it would rank among the 20 largest in the entire world. Alaska has over 40% of the country's surface water resources, contains 3 million lakes of over 5 acres, 12,000 rivers, numerous streams and ponds. The capital of Alaska, Juneau, is the only one that is not accessible by road in the United States. To get from anywhere in the state, it is necessary to get on board on a plane or a boat. One of the attractions of Alaska are the incredible light shows offered by nature, the Aurora Borealis. The Aurora Borealis season in Alaska begins in mid-August and lasts until mid-April, which provides 240 days to see the incredible show in the night skies. The necessary conditions for the Aurora Borealis indicate that the sky must be clear, and February is ideal for this. On average, it has clear, dark skies 4 nights out of 5. Scientists have confirmed the continuous occupation of Alaska as a recent massive discovery, according to a study published in the Journal of the Skeletons of 2 ancient children who lived and died in Alaska 11,500 years ago. According to a study published in the Journal of Skeletons of 2 ancient children who lived and died in Alaska 11,500 years ago, are helping to tell the story of a previously unknown population, known as the ancient Bernelians. Notably, thousands of years ago, there was a natural land bridge between Russia and Alaska. Thanks to this discovery was the first genomic evidence that all Native Americans descended from the same population that crossed the continent across this land bridge. Both babies discovered in the Sand River burial pit in the Tanana River Valley in central Alaska were female. They were given symbolic names such as Twilight and Dawn by the local indigenous community. The first child died between the ages of 6 and 12 weeks, and the second died prematurely at 30 weeks of development without ever having a chance to actually live. Their DNA suggests that they were related possibly as first cousins. Thus, using their DNA, the researchers were able to sequence the genome of a Dawn girl known as USR1. She was found to be related to Native Americans, but in a unique way, USR1's DNA led to the researchers to believe that they had discovered a previously unknown genetic population of Native Americans, called Agent, that represents the oldest known genetic lineage of Native Americans to date. A brief pause. If you made it this far and you're liking our content, subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our new videos. Now, let's get on with the video. The new data allows researchers to test and develop models to determine when and where the population divisions occurred. The results of which that are about 34,000 years ago, a population began to separate from the Asians, but genetic exchanges continue until 25,000 years ago. This implies that by then, they were already in Alaska. According to the new data, the change occurred 10,000 years earlier than previously thought. This group also met another population of people who were more closely related to modern Europeans than to Asians about 25,000 years ago. This is how the Beringians emerged. These people hunted bison, elk, squirrels, and birds as they learned on sight. There is also evidence of the first exploitation of salmon in the Americas despite having lived 6,000 years before climate and vegetation change. They adapted their strategy of using organized hunting parties, processing what they caught and delivering it to centrally located base camps, such as the Owens and Riverside. But what happened to the ancient Beringians? Scientists cannot say yet. To determine that, they need samples from villages in the region to determine to what extent gene flow occurred from the ancient Beringians with neighboring villages. To what extent gene flow occurred from the ancient Beringians with the neighboring villages. To what extent gene flow occurred with the ancient Beringians with neighboring villages. However, what scientists do know is that Alaska can be highly volcanic. Images of volcanic eruption can hear well with the cold climate of the state, but Alaska has reminded scientists that a volcano can erupt after thousands of years of dormancy. Fort Peak Mountain is a little-known volcano in the northeast corner of Katmai National Park. It is formed by isolated andesitic rock outcrops, which rises above the glacier with one possible exception. Was thought to be dormant until before the first historic eruption in 2006. As a result, was not directly monitored. even though the neighboring volcanic system Katmai, 100 kilometers to the southwest, and Augustine volcano, 70 kilometers to the northeast are. There are several reports from the citizens, mainly from the Omer area, that a dark plume, fed by what appeared to be two sources near Cave Douglas on the west side of Coke. The plume reached an impressive height of over 6 kilometers. It took 3 days to confirm that Four-Peaked Mountain was the source of the eruption, and another 3 days to reveal the source of the phreatic explosion due to its remoteness and bad weather. The Alaskan Peninsula is heavily glaciated and has most likely been covered by ice since the last ice age began over 100,000 years ago. As a result, anything resembling a volcano must be recently active, since the erosive action of glaciers would quickly remove the soft materials that form the cones of these mainly andesthetic volcanoes, such as Mount Douglas to the north, is a glaciated extravolcano with an active crater lake and uneroded lava flows. On its northern flank, there are also active fumaroles, but no eruptions have occurred in recorded history. Local Alaskans initially saw the volcano as a series of rocky outcrops on the Four-Peak Glacier. The summit reaches a total impressive height of 2,105 meters, and its most recent inactive period is believed to have lasted a total of 10,000 years. The size and style of past eruptions are not entirely delineated, but early eruptions of andesite and dacite indicate that the eruption may have been very explosive. Only 3 brief periods of historical activity in total are known for the volcano. The first was a July 1965 report of steam and gas plumes near the Four-Peaked summit. A second of these events was a phreatic eruption on September 17, 2006. The final occurrence was a minor increase in seismicity between April and May 2013. Volcanoes are not the only shocking things about Alaska. Residents will readily tell you about experiencing an episode of fish literally falling from the sky. They deserve to be able to tell a great story, but the rain of fish is not even as scary as the vampire fish type. It was certainly a creepy surprise. More like eels or snakes than trout, have no scales or fins and can grow up to 38 centimeters long. An adult lamprey has a disc-shaped mouth full of small sharp teeth. These animals open their mouths to trap and envelop the fish, then use their teeth to scrape off the scales and feed on their fluids and blood. Some of those who fall prey to lampreys die in these attacks, but in many cases they survive, according to the Department of Fish and Game. Alaska anglers are very familiar with the circular scars on salmon and trout that have been victimized by lamprey. It is rare for lamprey to be found on land. In fact, most people in Alaska have never seen them up close. This species is born in freshwater and then moves to the ocean. It returns to its river of birth to spawn young. Environmental officials believe that the gulls are picking these animals up, only to drop them later in surprising and unexpected places. So far, 4 lampreys have been found on land. Environmental officials believe that the gulls are picking these animals up, only to drop them later in surprising and unexpected places. So far, 4 lampreys have been found on land. Anyways, we have reached the end of the video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so. Leave us your opinion in the comment box so we know what you think.